All right, guys, here we are, episode 4 of Dynasty Trades in 5. I am Clay with Dynasty Pandemic.
Hey, I'm Shane with Dynasty Trades in 5 and Dynasty Trades HQ.
Scott, Dynasty and Chill, Dynasty Trades in 6 or 5, whatever we want to call this show. But yeah, another one. Good to be back.
Good stuff. All right, so today we're talking about Deebo Samuel, very hot name, obviously, right now. And I figured we just get right into a couple trades that we found on the DLF Trade Finder. So I'll start with you, Shane. 14 team, start 12. You have Elijah Mitchell, 2022 first, the 2022 second, or Deebo. Which side are you taking there?
I'm getting a 2022 first and a 14 team. Yeah, I'm going to take the pick side. And then also, I don't mind Mitchell in a second because I'm sure I could flip Mitchell to someone that's silly enough to think that he's better than Trey Sermon. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Deebo side. Or
All
excuse
right,
me, I'm going to go with the pick side.
You're going with the pick side. All right, Scott, how about you?
Yeah, I agree with Shane. Maybe our reasoning is a little bit different, but yeah, give me the first, the second, and Elijah Mitchell. I can kind of play around with and see maybe what I can get in a 14 team start 12. Getting 3 players or 3 assets you can maybe turn into players is even more important. So yeah, I think easily it's the first, the second, and Elijah Mitchell.
All right, good stuff. So the second trade is a 12 team start 10, so it's not as deep. Calvin Ridley or Chase Edmonds and Deebo Samuel?
Jump in.
Yeah, this one's tough. This one's tougher for me only because it's going to come down to, if you actually believe in Deebo Samuel, then you're essentially, I don't want to say he's close to Calvin Ridley, but production-wise this year, at least short-term production, you could probably argue that he's pretty close. And I kind of wonder about Calvin Ridley a little bit. What is he without Julio Jones? What is he with this current Falcons offense? He's going to be 27. He's going to get close to hitting that kind of age curve where it starts to go down. So, he was definitely one that was overvalued when he was like wide receiver 6 or 7 in Dynasty. His market not anywhere close to that. So this was tough. If you need Chase Edmonds, because I love Chase Edmonds, I've said it before. Like I'm trying to buy him the rest of the year and just kind of ride him out, him and a couple other guys. If I need running backs, like that's one of my targets. So this one's tough. I think in the start 10, I'd still probably lean Calvin Ridley very slightly, just because he's the better asset of the two, and I would figure I can probably replace the running back a little bit cheaper. But that one's real close. I think I'll lean Ridley though, because I can probably turn him into a better singular asset that I like. That's more in that tier.
Yeah, this is teetering on the edge. If this was start 11,
Yep.
I'd definitely go Edmonds and Deebo. Because right now, but in start 10 now, look, we're seeing the ceiling of Deebo Samuel. This is by far his ceiling. It's 34% target share after a career previous high was 26% target share. I understand George Kittle went out, so now everyone probably expects that Deebo is going to see a 50% target share. Doesn't really work like that for most teams.
He's actually healthy. That's a crazy thing right now too. It's like there's like the Brandon Cookses of the world, the Deebo Smiths, Deebo Samuel, Will Fuller. I never own any of them, and I miss out on a bunch of fantasy points. But the fact that he's healthy right now is nuts, right? So it's not even me jinxing him either, like because he would probably get hurt anyway without anybody saying anything. But
it's the perfect storm for his value. Him being healthy. Now Kittle being injured and him just dominating targets. And I think Ridley, we're seeing, I know Scott's a little concerned about Ridley, but I still think even though the value won't increase because yes, he will be an old man next year at 27. I think the production will be better than Deebo's with a better quarterback. He's producing okay now with some really horrible quarterback play that would probably get more attention if it wasn't for the likes of Ben Roethlisberger still falling all over the field.
Yeah, I think with Deebo, you have the everyone pigeonholed him as being like this guy that only saw his targets around the line of scrimmage, and now it's the opposite, and he's getting a huge market share. So it's like if you put those numbers up there and you just forgot that it's the profile of Deebo Samuel, you'd be going like, oh, is that like DJ Moore or is that Justin Jefferson? You're going, that guy's a stud. You know what I mean? So if you just took away the name and you looked at the numbers, the ADOT and the market share, you're going like, that is an alpha stud receiver. then you're like, well, it's Deebo Samuel. And we immediately think, well, that can't continue. So which one is it? I think that's my tough thing with Deebo. 59 leagues, 0 Deebo Samuel for me.
Me too.
One of the very few players. So I'm taking a loss if he continues this.
Well, I've got Deebo in a few leagues,
no doubt.
But it wasn't like he was ever someone that I was like, oh, no, I have to have him.
Right.
Because he's just, again, he seems to be one of those guys, maybe not even injury, where, yeah, he can rip off 4 to 5 weeks where you're like, I think this guy's a wide receiver 1. But then there'll be 4 weeks in a row after that where you realize, no, he's just a guy. He's not Justin Jefferson. He's not A.J. Brown. He's a guy that can give you some high-end weeks, but he can be, the defense can shut him down. Although this year, yeah, it's nice to see that he's not being used just as a gadget trick player with a negative ADOT.